would like you to observe this image. What do you see? A boy with a flute in front of a girl sitting on the rocks? Or maybe a face? Or maybe something completely different? Does it matter? Well, it does, because everyone can draw something different from this image that pertains to them. And this concept is what makes poetry very special. The idea of reflecting it in a way which suits you. For me, poetry is a perfect vent to let out all my inner steam. When I read poetry, I have the opportunity to confront my inner conflicts and lighten the emotional baggage that I experience in life. Therefore, I agree with the following quote, and I will explain to you how poetry has positively affected me. Good morning, ma'am and class. One thing very important about poetry is to listen and understand the voice behind it. And when teachers narrate and annotate poetry in class, the meaning of the poem is lost and the perspective is often one-sided. Interacting with poetry in this manner is simply not doing it justice. The true way to understand poetry is to read it on your own, through your own voice. Because when you listen to it through your own voice, your own problems and opinions are highlighted through the words. It's as if the poet gives you the words as a template to let out all your inner frustrations and confront your inner struggles. In my life, I've often struggled with finding where I fit in. I often find myself uncertain on my decisions, and I can't seem to focus my mind on what I want to do here. A poem called The Way It Is by William Stafford helped me to understand the importance of having purpose by using the metaphor of a thread that guides you through time. Lines 3 to 5 in the poem, in which people question the thread, for me, shows how my life purpose is uniquely suited to me and how others may not understand my goals. Line 6 saying, while you hold it, you can't get lost, shows how my purpose is supposed to guide me through life and give me a sense of direction. The poem truly appealed to the importance of having purpose, and to me, it helps me realize that someday I will find a purpose to mold my life around. In many ways, the poem makes me feel like a sea animal living on land that wants to fly in the air. It makes me want to strive for something and hold on to a purpose. Another way poetry has impacted me is by helping me understand the karmic nature of life and how your actions truly have consequences. The poem My Funeral by Wendy Cope highlights the speaker's intention of being treated less emotionally at her funeral as she's treated others at theirs. The tone shows a sense of acceptance, and the speaker feels that she deserves to have fewer people attend her funeral, as said in the last line. This poem made me contemplate on how guilt can consume a person and dull a person's self-image and need for human connection. It made me understand the importance of feeling guilt, and made me understand the importance of being responsible for my actions. To me, poetry is more than just amalgams of poetic devices. They're seeds that plant food for thought. Poetry helps you reflect and makes you shoot at the barriers of the unknown and the unknowable. It can help you accept all the challenges of life and develop a newfound understanding of the world. Poetry also helped me confront a sense of loss in my heart. The poem The Tenant by Naan Kube made me reflect on the people that I never get to see again. From family to friends to past relationships, the luggage and marks left on the walls from line 8 to 13 never leave the room of my heart and appeal to my feelings of regret. Regret that I couldn't spend more time with those who I've lost, and emptiness. The last stanza of the poem truly speaks to me. It encapsulates my feelings of loss and helps me relate to the speaker. This gives me a sense that I'm not the only one who feels the sorrow of losing someone. The words and strong symbolic themes in the poem being spoken through my voice helps me come to terms with my sorrow and helps me understand sometimes why the joys of life are shadowed by loss. In other words, the poem taught me why rainbows go away. Poetry is a loudspeaker that amplifies the words you hide in your heart. It plucks the inhibitions, frustrations, and disappointments and lets you confront your struggles. It acts as a funnel to channel your inner feelings. It's a mirror to uniquely look at your gains and losses. Without poetry, there's no reflection in the mirror. And without reflection, we can never know how dry and blemished our hearts may be. Thank you.